So OpenAI yesterday just launched a new feature to ChatGPT called Canvas. We're going to go into what that is and how it compares to Anthropic and their artifacts feature. So without further ado, let's check this out. So we got Canvas. So this is the announcement from yesterday, introducing Canvas, a new way of working with ChatGPT to write and code.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool. So you basically, write whatever text you have in the chat window on the left, and then on the right there's like a preview of whatever document you're creating, and they have some interactive elements to it so that you can edit inline in that document. It is, I'm sure the people at Anthropic were just like, bruh, we just came out with this in August. They're not generally available, and then a month or so later, OpenAI comes out with it. I think that's great. I think it's good for competition to have companies kind of try to one up each other. I think it's for the best, and I hope both of them stay funded so that we can continue getting innovations, because otherwise it might not go anywhere. So let's just do an example. So you can go to ChatGPT, and they have this new ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas, collaborate on writing code. And so we can put together an idea. So let's say I wanted to do an HTML game that is an infinite runner, vertical scroll, user inputs left and right arrow keys to avoid common NYC obstacles. And press spacebar to jump over objects. It is called I Run NYC. And let's see what it comes up with. Anything good? Great concept. Yeah. Congrats to me. This is a concept I've had for a long time, actually. So this is what it would look like just with 4.0, right? So this is kind of before you have this like coding window. So it is creating it in here, and you can see how it's being generated. Cool. This is kind of the normal interface that you'd normally get ChatGPT, right? We could let this generate, but we ain't got time for that. So let's go to GPT 4.0 with Canvas, and we could just run this again. Copy paste. We're going to be doing a lot of that today. So now you see this like window comes up, and you essentially have like a little editor on the side. Here's a basic HTML game template for I Run NYC. The player moves left and right with arrow keys to avoid obstacles and press the spacebar to jump. Feel free to expand on this by adding more NYC-themed obstacles, customizing player sprites, and adding animations. Features like power-ups or scoring. Cool. So what we can do, since this is just HTML, we copy this. I'm going to paste it into a file, and we're going to reload it and see. Boom. Wow, this is moving real slow. So it's too slow, and at least it works. Cool. So it's basic stuff. So if you, okay. Say okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. So you can go in here and edit and add stuff. So let's say make the player move faster, update the obstacles with better graphics that represent what they are, add a scoring system based on how long you survive, and have one winner. Person wins by having the high score. And you save their name to the leaderboard. Cool. So this is going to go in. It's going to go over the code you already have, update a couple things. So what I like about coding through services like this is you can see it's actually well documented. A lot of code is just not well documented. And so it could be interesting, but if you can't really read it and understand it, it's not as useful. So let's try this again. We're going to copy this. There was that bug that it would continue afterwards. So so that's working. Actually want to lose. Enter your name on the leaderboard. So Frank. Boom. Yeah, so that's this is like a game over bug. So let's see if we can fix that. One of the features you can see here is they have this section on the bottom right where you can do a code review, port it to a different language, fix bugs, add logs, and add comments. So fix bugs, I don't actually know what that does. Literally, I just hit click. Wow. I didn't expect it to work like that. I thought I'd have to tell it what the bugs are. No freaking way. I have reviewed the code and found some potential bugs, such as the player moving off screen and not properly resetting the game. I have fixed these issues and ensured that the game functions correctly.
Bruh.
What? Are you kidding me? That's awesome. I love that. But why doesn't it just do that naturally? Why'd I have to click another button? Shouldn't it just do that? Shouldn't that be that kind of, that's the, you know, the O1 like extra thinking time. That should be a part of that. So imagine when this is combined with O1, imagine when this is fully integrated into Cursor and other things like, or they create their own IDE that is a little bit more visual, something more akin to Replit that has the DevOps side and the preview of the actual output all in one. But let's see. Actually, let's add some other stuff. The player moves too slowly. Make the input on left and right more dramatic. And then there is a bug after adding your name and game is over where the pop-up continues. So let's see if it fixes those things. We're just going to copy paste, deploy it. This is an easy deploy if you're not familiar with HTML. You can just create a folder, create a file, index.html, drag that file into your Chrome browser, and it should be viewable. You do not need to be a coding genius like myself in order to make it work. All right, so this input is a little bit better. It's not that much better. So I put my name, I got 525. It's just not as smooth. So this should update the score and the name. Right, so that's working. Cool. So basic thing. So it mentioned before, improved obstacle graphics, taxis and pigeons. So you saw some of that. I have the leaderboard. I just think the animation could be smoother. Make the player animation smoother and make it move at the same speed as the obstacles. Create more detailed obstacle and obstacle images. Turn the player into a human form. Add some power-ups in the form of an energy drink that is purple. Get some of that purple stuff, you know what I mean? All right, so let's see how it works. So it's still generating. So there's a human sprite. I don't know. It's getting that from somewhere. I don't know what that's about. That doesn't seem promising. Seems like a hallucination, but let's see. Control V. I'm an expert control V'er. Okay, that broke it. Let's inspect. Failed to execute draw image on. So if I was in cursor, I would just copy this and paste it. But let's see if it can fix the bug itself, because it says it can. Let's see how this works. Yep. All right. I fixed the issue where the game over prompt would continue to pop up. I ensured smoother app. Okay. So let's copy all of this again and see. Control V. So let's see how this looks. Yep, it didn't fix that. So it didn't fix that error. So I'm just gonna paste this here and see if it can figure out that that's the problem. And so if you look at there's like a New York Times article that came out, which I will overlay in the post. And there's a lot of talk about valuations are really high for these AI startups. They're burning through a lot of cash, and the valuations are ridiculous. But also that the software is buggy and it doesn't do everything for you, and the code is bad. And this is just from people who do not interface with technology enough to understand that we are like 5x where we were 2 years ago. Like this came out in 2022. And people are expecting it to just like completely replace human beings in every capacity. I think people need to think of this like it's Photoshop. Like when I create artwork and I use Photoshop, I don't tell everybody I'm using Photoshop. It's just another tool in my tool set, right? Like it doesn't actually, the tool doesn't matter. If I use Ruby on Rails to build a website, I don't have to go pronouncing to everyone that it's made with Rails. You just make the stuff and use it how you want. So it said it fixed the issue, but I had to copy the issue instead of, obviously there's the ability for ChatGPT to take this basic HTML code, run it themselves, and see if an error pops up. That would be the most basic way it could deploy and understand if this works or not, and check this like checking for bugs thing. It's just checking if there's like a console error just on load, and it would get that on load. So that is why I don't think we are quite there yet with some of these services in terms of, okay, so that error is gone now. This is moving so slow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we just need this to move faster. But as you can see, I mean, there's a taxi. That E is like an energy boost thing. Okay. So let me see where in the code the input is for. So the key down, arrow left. player.x. Okay. Minus equals player speed. So I guess player speed is how much the input is affecting it. So we could just update this number here. I kind of want to see if it will, figure that out. The player is moving too slowly. We need to increase the player speed. So if you're just coding this yourself, obviously I would just change that number. But I really just want to see, can it make that change itself? It doesn't appear that it did. It made 2 edits where? Maybe it did. I'm pretty sure it's the player X and Y, but anyway, let's see. I'm pretty sure this is not going to do it. So let's try it out. Let's reload this. Something is wrong. Unexpected token. So I think that's a me problem. I think. No. Okay, so there's the reset game. Yeah, what the hell is this? What is that?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
So this should be an easy thing to detect that there's an error. We'll see if it's easy for ChatGPT to do that, but yeah, I don't know where that number came from. Yeah, player.speed equals 8. Okay, cool. Right. So it did increase the player speed, which is controlling how much they move. So you saw it before. This is where that is. So ideally, when we update this, now it should work and it should move a lot faster. A little bit faster. Not as fast as I would like. So I'm just going to I'm going to update it. I'm going to double the speed on my end. I'm not showing you the whole screen, but should be pretty simple. See, that moves a lot faster. Cool. So I can get the energy. Amazing. So very, very simple game, but that is okay. Cool. That is it for kind of the preview of that. I did want to show people when I think about user experience, I actually applied to the Carnegie Mellon HCI Masters, which is Human Computer Interaction, and I actually talk about my reflection on my life and journey in technology and entrepreneurship, and specifically through this statement of purpose, which is what I put in with my application. I talked about the power of technology and the fact that now what's really important is the user experience. So the fact that Anthropic and OpenAI are competing on the UX part of things is what people should latch on to. They're obviously competing on the technology side, but we've leveled up all of technology to a certain level now. So what, especially for entrepreneurs like yourselves, what we are trying to figure out is we have all this infinite capability, this like incredible technology, but what do we do to let people access it and use it? And that is a study of HCI. How does it interact with human beings? And that's something we always have to keep in mind. And as I say here, today's technological, are you seeing this? Yeah. Today's technological advancements are not fully leveraged, however, due to a lack of intuitive user experience. There's a pressing need for HCI focus on creating affordances that empower users to effectively utilize this advanced technology. It can bridge the gap between technology's potential and users' capability, ensuring that technological advancements are accessible and beneficial to all. So I talk about a lot of things in here. You can read this at blog.frankdembo.com. It's my statement of purpose. And we also at Go to Guild, we do consulting in this field. And when we imagined the user experience of Martin, one of the things we talked about was simplifying our interaction. So Martin is a smart assistant, and I think chat interfaces are familiar, but they need to be advanced and things should be added to it. So we created kind of this version of Martin, which responds in different ways. And you might have a text response for some of it. You might have a response that is, a little bit more graphical. We might show information. We might push you towards other components in the user experience. So that's something I think about a lot. Obviously, this is on mobile, so it's a little bit different, and you don't have as much space to play around with. But I do think that it's awesome that Anthropic and OpenAI are kind of going back and forth, and we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be the beneficiaries of it as consumers. But that's it for this video. Hope this is helpful and interesting for you. If you did, check out gotoguild.com. We do video case studies for B2B startups. We have a 40-item list of different tools that I use, that I've vetted. Check that out if that's interesting. Denbo out.